Welcome to Mindset Monday, where we bring you the truth after Sunday. This is episode 5, Principles versus Impulse. So a few years ago, when I was still living at home with my parents, me and my dad were watching America's Got Talent. And there was this daredevil dude that went up on a tightrope at some dizzying height to go walk across it for the show. Well, something that always kind of stuck with me while I was watching his performance was every time the tightrope went a little bit to the left or went to a little bit to the right, he would just out of impulse immediately make some extreme measure to go this way or to go that way to stabilize himself. And so it kind of made me reflect a little bit on what tightrope is in my life. So where can I identify that I'm kind of living an impulsive lifestyle where I'm making extreme efforts to the left and to the right? And one of those things, one of the many for me, was isolation. So as soon as something would happen between me and somebody else, or something's going on in the home with family, whatever, like if it was some sort of contention, argument, some sort of fight, like unless it was something like knuckles in kind of a thing, then I'm isolating. Like I want to get completely away. Wouldn't find me. You just find me looking sad somewhere in the corner. But as long as I was by myself, I was okay. And it was causing this imbalance. And all it was is I was living my life on this tightrope of like, all right, John, don't be too annoying. Don't be too frustrating somebody. You can't mess up. You can't do this. You can't do that. And living on this tightrope where it's like, oh, I'm making all these extreme efforts, but I'm walking imbalanced. Even the daredevil himself doesn't live his life on the tightrope. He had to drive to the place and had to walk up to the ladder. So I can't keep living my life on the tightrope. And what we all know and can relate to is at the close of 2019, we knew 2020 was coming, but we didn't really know it was coming, right? So we get into 2020 and all this crisis hits. And really the blessing in disguise was that it was a revealer of where the tightropes are in our lives, where we were living an impulsive lifestyle. So here's where the principles come in, is that the impulsivity probably worked on the tightrope. It's probably all that you have. But on the other end, if I just change up that foundation from the tightrope to principles, where now I have something firm that is immovable, now I can live a much more balanced and a much more stable life. So we can all relate to it. It might be, just lying. It might be gossiping sometimes. Other times it might be like, man, I'm going impulsive. I need to go get drunk. I need to go smoke this or smoke that. We're just living an impulsive lifestyle. But the principles, that's what keeps you safe. Like that is what protects what you love. It protects what you find most important. It gives you just a peace of mind when you start living this way, because when you hear the word principles, I want you to think proactive. And when you hear the word impulse, I want you to think of the word reactive. So when you go impulsive to a crisis in life, it's too late. You're already behind. But when you go principles, before the crisis even comes, you've decided on, I'm not going to let my character slip like that. Like I might have unhealthy eating habits when a crisis hits. Like, no, I'm not going to overeat, or I'm not going to undereat, right? I'm establishing principles before something happens in my life instead of trying to play catch up when something does hit. So, God said he didn't give us a spirit of fear, but he gave us peace, love, and a sound mind. That's exactly what principles can give to you. Like God gives us principles to protect us and to protect the things that we most love. So remember, it is a mindset. Let's go with this challenge. We're not going to elevate 2020 anymore. We're going to stop idolizing 2020. Let's tear it down. It's not an idol. It's not so big that God doesn't know what to do with it, or that we can't overcome. We can. God has called us to greatness. Let's elevate principles above the crisis from now on. So this is Mindset Monday. I will see you next week.